The Doll of Perdition, a tale of obsession and terror. In 2007, summer seemed endless in the outskirts of Salem, Massachusetts. Laura, David, and little Emily lived in an old bungalow with creaking wood and small windows where every corner held echoes of laughter, quarrels, and promises of better days. Their routine was simple, marked by financial struggles and modest dreams, but there was enough human warmth to heat the coldest nights. Laura, proud of her roots, maintained close ties with her family from rural Maine, and it was a tradition to host her cousins for extended visits, filling the house with familiar voices and the aromas of freshly baked cakes. Two cousins, Sarah and Jessica, arrived on a rainy afternoon, bringing with them Lily, Sarah's daughter. They came laden with gifts, sweets, and news from the bigger cities. 6-year-old Emily was ecstatic with the commotion, especially when Lily revealed her gleaming Barbie doll with golden hair and a pink dress. It wasn't a gift for Emily, but the girl was mesmerized. She observed Lily's every move, every hairstyle, every outfit change of the doll, with an intensity Laura had never seen before. It was more than childish desire. It was a kind of dark fascination. When the cousins left, the doll's absence became an unbearable void for Emily. She whined, threw tantrums, refused to play with her own toys. Laura, patiently, tried to explain that they couldn't afford a similar Barbie. Money was tight, and the doll was too expensive. But Emily wouldn't be comforted. What started as a childish whim soon transformed into a sickly obsession. Emily stopped eating properly, developed a fever, and began to sleep poorly. Laura, desperate, scoured all the stores in downtown Salem, but couldn't find a Barbie like Lily's. Each day, the girl seemed to waste away a little more. It was then that, on a muggy morning, as they walked downtown, Laura and Emily passed a stall selling handmade dolls. Among dozens of rag dolls, one caught Emily's eye. It was different, larger, with a colorful dress, eyes sewn with black thread, and red yarn hair. Emily pointed to it with a conviction that startled Laura. "I want this one, Mommy. I don't want the Barbie anymore." Relieved, Laura bought the doll for $20, silently grateful for the cheap and quick solution to her daughter's torment. They arrived home, and Emily wouldn't let go of the doll. She named it Sophie and began to treat it like a child, talking to it, feeding it, even putting it to sleep beside her. Laura, relieved, thought the nightmare was over. But in the following weeks, small details began to bother her. Emily spoke to the doll in a low voice, especially at night. Sometimes, Laura would wake up in the middle of the night and hear light footsteps through the house. She would find Emily sitting on the stairs, the doll in her lap, whispering phrases Laura couldn't understand. At first, Laura and David regarded it as a vivid imagination. "It's just a phase," David would say, trying to reassure his wife. But Laura felt a growing unease. There was something strange, something she couldn't name. Emily's gaze seemed different, more distant, as if she was always listening to someone other than her parents. As the days passed, Emily's relationship with the doll intensified. The girl began to act stranger and stranger. She stole small objects from Laura and David, a pen, a keychain, and an old lipstick. When questioned, she answered with chilling calmness. "Sophie asked for it. She needs it." Laura tried not to make a big deal of it, but the frequency of the episodes increased. One day, she found Emily in the bathroom, drawing with red lipstick on the mirror. She asked what she was doing, and the girl replied, "It's to make her pretty. She wants to thank you." The nights became more disturbing. Laura woke up to whispers coming from Emily's room. Sometimes she heard her daughter talking to someone, laughing softly, as if sharing secrets. David, skeptical, insisted it was just imagination, but Laura felt something was wrong. The atmosphere of the house changed. The air seemed heavier, and a strange smell began to spread, an odor of rotting flesh that appeared out of nowhere and permeated everything. Emily started having nightmares. She screamed during the night, saying someone wanted to get her. Laura tried to calm her daughter, but Emily refused to sleep alone. She asked to sleep with her parents, saying the doll got angry when she didn't obey. One night, Laura heard a hoarse voice, unlike anything she had ever heard, whispering in her daughter's room. "You lazy brat. I told you everything, and you still couldn't complete it. Just you wait." She rushed to the room, but found only Emily crying, hugging the doll. Fear settled in for good. Laura decided to get rid of the doll. She threw it in the street's trash can, but the next morning, she found the doll sitting on the stairs with a strange smile on its face. The smell of rotting flesh intensified. Notes began appearing in the mailbox, written in pencil with the phrase, "I'm still here." Laura felt cornered, powerless before something she couldn't explain. Emily began to show bruises on her body. They took her to the doctor, who confirmed they were impact injuries, as if someone had hit her. Emily, however, refused to say what had happened. She became increasingly withdrawn, avoiding looking at the doll, as if fearing something terrible. Laura and David began sleeping with their daughter, trying to protect her from whatever it was. The house routine completely fell apart. Laura lived in a state of alert, sleeping little and poorly, always waiting for a new episode. The putrid smell intensified at night, making it impossible to ignore the malignant presence that seemed to haunt every room. Emily, once a cheerful child, became apathetic, with deep, dark circles under her eyes and a lost gaze. She spent hours sitting at the bedroom door, staring down the hallway, as if waiting for something or someone. The doll, once an inseparable companion, was now a source of terror. Emily refused to enter her room alone, saying the doll wanted to hurt her. Laura tried to throw the doll away once more, but it always reappeared, in improbable places, on the sofa, on the stairs, even in the couple's bed. The doll's sewn smile seemed wider, crueler each day. Desperation led Laura to seek help. She talked to neighbors, researched online, tried to understand if other families had gone through something similar. She discovered reports of cursed dolls, objects that served as channels for malignant entities. Each story was scarier than the last, but none offered a definitive solution. David, still reluctant to believe, began to feel the effects of the malignant presence. Recurring nightmares, a sense of being watched, objects moving on their own. The couple fought more and more, the tension eroding what little peace remained. Emily, increasingly ill, almost completely stopped eating. Laura feared for her daughter's life. On a particularly cold night, Laura woke up with a scream. She ran to Emily's room and found her fallen on the floor with the doll beside her. Emily trembled, pointing to the closet, saying the doll wanted to take her to the dark place. Laura, overcome by desperate fury, grabbed the doll and burned it in the backyard. The flames illuminated the night, and Laura felt immediate relief, as if a shadow had dissipated. For a few days, the house was silent. The bad smell disappeared, and Emily started sleeping better. Laura and David breathed a sigh of relief, believing the nightmare was over. But the peace was fragile, almost illusory. A week later, while organizing boxes in the garage, Laura found the doll, intact, without burn marks, with the same sinister smile. The shock was smaller, but the discomfort remained. Laura tried to ignore it, but Emily quickly noticed the doll's presence. "She came with us, Mommy," the girl said, with chilling calmness. David suggested throwing the doll away once and for all, but Laura hesitated. She was afraid of provoking something worse, of defying the entity that seemed connected to that object. Time passed, and nothing strange happened. The doll was forgotten, buried under worthless objects. Emily grew up, becoming a reserved teenager, but never again mentioned the doll. Laura, however, could never shake the feeling of being watched. Sometimes, at night, she would hear light footsteps through the house, whispers coming from the attic, muffled laughter, but she never found an explanation. Routine returned to normal, but fear was a constant, silent presence hovering over the family like an invisible shadow. Laura knew that as long as the doll was there, the danger would never be completely gone. Years passed, and the doll became a kind of family secret. Laura and David avoided talking about the subject, fearing to awaken what seemed dormant. Emily, now an adult, remembered the events with a mix of disbelief and terror. "It was like I wasn't myself," she would say, trying to explain the episodes of obsession and fear. The doll remained in its box, intact, but no one dared to touch it. From time to time, Laura thought about seeking specialists, people who dealt with cursed objects, but the fear of attracting even more attention to the problem prevented her from acting. She preferred to keep the secret, protecting the family from what might exist beyond our understanding. Faith became their main shield. They prayed daily, kept crucifixes throughout the house, avoided any kind of superstition or playing with the supernatural. The peace was fragile, but real. The doll, silent, seemed to just wait patiently for a new opportunity. Over time, Laura realized that the fear had changed. It was no longer a paralyzing panic, but a constant distrust, a silent alert. The doll never moved on its own again, never caused nightmares or strange smells. But every now and then, Laura felt a shiver when passing near the box. It was as if something was watching her, silent, waiting. The family prospered. David got a better job, Emily went to college, Laura opened a small business. Life went on, but the doll remained, a dark reminder of the past. No one dared to throw it away or donate it. It was as if, by accepting its presence, they had made a silent pact of coexistence. Nights were peaceful, but Laura never stopped praying. She knew that evil can sleep, but it never completely disappears. The doll was living proof of that, or dead, depending on the point of view. One night, years later, Emily returned home for the holidays. She found the box where the doll was stored and, out of curiosity, opened it. The object seemed harmless, just an old, dirty doll with button eyes and a sewn smile. Emily laughed, saying she had been scared for nothing as a child. Laura, however, felt a shiver run down her spine. That night, Emily had a nightmare. She dreamed she was trapped in a dark room, with the doll sitting on the bed, watching her. In the dream, the doll spoke in a hoarse, threatening voice, saying it would never leave. Emily woke up in a cold sweat, but preferred not to tell her mother. From that day on, small, strange occurrences began again. Objects disappeared, doors closed on their own, muffled laughter echoed through the house. Laura realized that even dormant, the malignant presence had never truly left. It was just a matter of time until something reawakened. The family then decided to seek specialized help. They sought an experienced priest who performed a new blessing on the house and prayed over the doll. The ritual was intense, marked with prayers, holy water, and hymns. The priest advised the family to maintain their faith and never touch the doll again. After the ritual, the house returned to peace. Emily finished college, David was promoted, Laura expanded her business. The doll remained in its box, untouched, but everyone knew that the danger still existed. It was like a time bomb, silent, waiting for the right moment to explode. The doll story became a family secret, passed down from generation to generation as a warning. "Be careful what you wish for," Laura told her granddaughter years later. "Some gifts can be curses in disguise." Today, the doll is still there, deep in the attic, covered in dust and memories. The family has prospered, but has never completely rid themselves of the fear. Laura, now elderly, looks back and wonders if she will ever truly be free from the malignant presence that entered her life by chance. The doll of perdition is more than an object. It is a reminder that evil can hide in the most innocent things, waiting only for an opening to manifest. And as long as the doll remains, the family will never forget the price of an innocent wish transformed into obsession.